Hi, my name is Stephanie Griggs, and this is my PowerPoint presentation in regards to macro change. And I will be describing locality development, social planning, and social action. So, locality development is creating infrastructure aimed at impacting community wide issues. So, that means community capacity building, using existing capital to increase community capital. So I will go into detail, and those aspects are human, financial, social, and physical. So I picked a news article, and the one that I picked to represent locality development is this St. Louis group is empowering women through wealth of resources. So the article goes into description of a nonprofit organization that is developed, and a building was bought in South St. Louis, and the organization is aimed to help women be successful and to financially be stable. So the next slide I will go into physical. All right. So physical. So what physical is in regards to macro change is an infrastructure. So what the women did for this organization is they bought a building, and they're renovating it in South St. Louis, and they described that they picked the location of South City and Fox Park because it was a very diverse culture, a lot of different people from different ethnic backgrounds in that area. And they said that they wanted to help middle class women, and there's single moms, and they described it as a just surviving demographic. So the building that they're renovating for the nonprofit is going to be kind of like a campus feel, is what they described. So they were hoping to brighten the neighborhood. Ali Hogan, the board president of the nonprofit, described a garden, an orchard, and over 3 acres of land and recreational space for the nonprofit. Next, we are going to talk about social. So, social is described as camaraderie for micro change, and it's about just being together and being as one. So, what this nonprofit is aiming to do is empower women, help them make more money, because they're trying to help women who are in the community that are making ends meet and that are just surviving. So Leslie Gill, she is the executive director of the nonprofit. She states that she wants women to no longer be just surviving. She wants to help them thrive. So by having this nonprofit and having this building, they're going to have a bunch of support systems, and they'll give women the tools they need to be successful. It's an all-women facility, and they describe it as a safe place to come and to go. They want to help women create goals and help them with crisis management. Next is financial. So financial is, described as money and wanting to increase community, and you increase that, by putting money into the community. So these women invested in this building. These women, Ali Hogan, the director, I apologize, the board president, she bought a building, and she's not renting, so she owns that. So she's investing in this facility. It's going to be all state of the art, updated, and the whole goal of the nonprofit is to invest in women and to make them financially stable and help them. They state that the goal is to help women who don't qualify for government assistance and aid. So those are those middle class women who are making enough money to get by. Next and finally is human. So human is described as skills, talent. It's skills and talent, and then capitalizing human capabilities. So what these women want to do is they want to have this nonprofit to make women the best versions of themselves. So they are going to provide each woman who goes to the facility with a coach, and it's like a life coach. So it's someone who's going to hold them accountable, but not do the hard work for them and help them create goals and help them achieve those goals. So in the building, they are going to have a plethora of services that are offered. So they're going to be resources in the building and direct services. And what was described is it's a sense of community with all of the women that are going to be there. It's going to be a safe haven. And their goal is to help navigate resources and get women to achieving their goals. This is the building that was bought. This building is, like I said, in South St. Louis City. It's off Arsenal. So this is what it looks like now, and it's, like I said, being renovated, and they plan to open the facility in the summer of 2020. So they are not yet open, but they are diligently working on it. So that the news article really described their goal and what they foresee in the future and what they foresee this facility to really look like, and how they want change in the community. Okay, so next we're going to discuss social planning. So social planning is described as using rational problem-solving strategies aimed at combating community problems. And that was stated such as examples given: passing laws or regulations to address community problems or conditions. Those that are involved are experts, people in power, and people in the community. So for my social planning, what I picked was an article that described a Missouri bill that is trying to get passed to expand access to rape kits. So the article states that not every Missouri hospital has rape kits available for women or anyone who's a rape victim. So this bill wants to make it necessary in every single hospital and accessible for those who have been raped or rape victims. It also has a sexual assault survivors bill of rights that was proposed, saying that they have the option to this rape kit, and it also offers for them to have complimentary showers after they've been to the hospital if they've gone through the process of the rape kit. Under this bill, it's saying that all licensed hospitals will require to provide a rape kit by 2023. It's also proposing that any rape survivor will have the right to a support person and a rape crisis center employee, and they can talk to someone from the police department in that area, and they can choose a woman or male with whatever gender they're comfortable with. This bill was passed, so it was passed with 98-51 votes. So that is social planning. This is a photo of the bill that they were all trying to get passed. So this is just a group setting of what it looked like to get that voted on, and it was being discussed in a government setting. Okay, so we have social action. And for social action, that is described as strength in numbers. So it states it's often used in situations where serious inequality exists and those in power do not want to correct it. It's the ability to make change and sometimes confrontationally. So, what I chose for my news article is it was titled "George Floyd Protests Grow Across the U.S." So this article goes into great detail of the protests that have been happening throughout United States and the demand for change with police brutality. So a man named George Floyd was killed after an officer pressed a knee into his neck while taking him into custody in Minnesota. And there's been protests in Phoenix, Denver, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and beyond, and thousands of protesters. So the protesters are just describing how they want justice, and they want justice they want all 4 officers to be prosecuted. Only one officer who had his knee into George Floyd's neck is the one that was convicted. So they are wanting justice, and they are wanting all 4 of them to be convicted. So the article does go into great detail also about how communities are being, there's protests and there's violence, and it's talking about how communities are being burned down and rioting and looting because of the protests. So the article does go into detail about law officials asking for the violence to stop, to stop burning down the community. So here's a direct quote from that article. And it states, "You are disgracing our city," she told protesters. "You are disgracing the life of George Floyd and every other person who has been killed in this country. We are better than this. We are better than this as a city. We are better than this as a country. Go home, go home." So it's a law official just kind of begging to stop the violence and to trust, the government to bring justice. But part of social action is making that change and wanting that change, and again, it being confrontational. So this, I think, article goes into great detail on discussing how strength in numbers and just doing what you think is necessary in the community, coming together and taking social action. So this is a photo that I took from the article that was on, so it was on Fox 2 News is where I got the article from, and this is where I got that photo from. So this picture just shows you how a van is burned, it's in the city, and there's protesters, and it's just showing the people taking social action, but also showing, the burning and the looting that is involved with that. So this is my references page. So the first article I got from Fox 2 News. So it was by Washington J. It was published on February 27th, 2020. And it states, this St. Louis group is empowering women through a wealth of resources, Pulse of St. Louis. And like I said, retrieved from Fox 2 News. And there's a direct link for that. The second reference I have is, I got that from Fox 2 News also. And it was written by Ballotine, and the first name was Summer, and that was May 11th, 2020. And it states, Missouri passes bill to expand access to rape. It was written by Associated Press, retrieved from Fox 2 News, and there's a link for that also. So the third one, there was no author. So author is unknown. And that article was published May 29th, 2020, and titled George Floyd Protests Grow Across the United States, or U.S., the Associated Press as who published it. But there, like I said, there was no author. Fox 2 News, and it was retrieved from Fox News website, and there's the link. And then I also got a picture of the nonprofits in the building. So I got that from the website Rung for Women, which was the nonprofit. That was the name of it. So it says a new beginning name. That was the title, and then the website. So this is my PowerPoint presentation, and thank you for listening.